It's a fight we all face: stress, anxiety, and the unpredictable chaos of life. What if I told you that ancient philosophers had powerful tools to tackle these modern dilemmas? This is the essence of Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy that encourages resilience and rationality in the face of life's challenges. Starting in Athens during the early 3rd century BC, Stoicism was founded by Zeno of Citium. But the influence of Stoicism didn't just stay in ancient Greece, it spread like wildfire across the Roman Empire and has lived on through the centuries, becoming a guiding light for many thinkers and leaders. Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from our external circumstances. This idea can be liberating. Think about it: you can't control the weather, but you can control how you react to it. Zeno's teachings were built on 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each virtue holds the key to personal growth and emotional resilience. But let's pause for a moment and think about the implications of these teachings. In a world where people are constantly seeking validation from social media or material possessions, the Stoic approach suggests a radical shift. According to a survey conducted by the American Psychological Association, nearly 70% of adults in the US report feeling stressed about their daily lives. What if we adopted a Stoic mindset to combat these feelings? We can look at the life of Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics and a Roman emperor. His personal journal, Meditations, reveals how he navigated the immense pressures of leadership by focusing on what he could control: his thoughts and actions. Imagine waking up every day, armed with the perspective that you have the power to shape your experience. This emotional fortitude is central to Stoicism and provides valuable tools for managing stress in our busy lives. As we journey through this series, we will uncover how to apply these ancient principles to modern challenges, making Stoicism not just a theory, but a practical guide. Will these timeless teachings provide the solutions we seek? At the heart of Stoicism lies a profound understanding of how we perceive the world around us. The first principle we must explore is dichotomy of control. This concept teaches us to distinguish between what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and what we cannot, other people's opinions, the past, and external events. Let's break this down with a real-life scenario. Imagine you are in a traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can feel the frustration bubbling up inside. A Stoic would remind you to pause and ask, what can I control here? The answer is simple: your response. You can choose to let the anger consume you or turn this time into an opportunity, perhaps listening to an informative podcast or practicing mindfulness. Research suggests that practicing mindfulness can lead to significant stress reduction, echoing the Stoic principle of focusing on the present moment. The second tenet is virtue is the only good. For Stoics, the concept of moral virtue, acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, holds the highest value. Think of it as the North Star guiding your decisions. When you align your actions with virtue, you find inner peace. To illustrate this, consider the story of Nelson Mandela. Despite being imprisoned for 27 years, he focused on the values of justice and reconciliation. Upon his release, instead of seeking revenge, he united a divided nation, embodying the very essence of Stoic virtue. His life teaches us that even when faced with adversity, prioritizing virtue can lead to transformative outcomes. The third principle is living in accordance with nature. This doesn't mean hugging trees or renouncing society, it means understanding the natural order of things and finding your place within it. Stoicism encourages us to accept life's ups and downs, recognizing that change is the only constant. A study by the University of California found that individuals who practice acceptance are generally happier and more resilient. As we progress through today's challenges, remember these 3 core principles. They provide a sturdy framework for viewing life with a Stoic lens, inviting resilience and virtue into our everyday interactions. But how do we incorporate these principles into our daily routines? Now that we've laid the groundwork of Stoic principles, let's shift our focus to how we can apply these timeless teachings in our daily lives. The first application is negative visualization. This technique encourages us to envision potential hardships, enabling us to prepare for challenges before they arise. Imagine yourself in a challenging situation, a job interview, for instance. A Stoic approach would involve imagining different outcomes, including the worst-case scenario. This preparation can significantly reduce anxiety, making you more resilient when faced with reality. Studies have shown that cognitive rehearsal can improve performance and decrease fear. Next, we have journaling. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote down his thoughts, reflections, and lessons as a way to cultivate mindfulness and gratitude. Research from Harvard suggests that regular journaling can enhance emotional well-being and clarity of thought. By putting your thoughts on paper, you free yourself from mental clutter. You might ask yourself questions like, "What did I learn today?" or "How did I respond to challenges?" This process not only fosters self-awareness but also helps you acknowledge progress and setbacks in equal measure, a crucial aspect of the Stoic journey. Another powerful practice is meditation. This is not just sitting in silence, it's about reflecting on your thoughts and emotions. Research shows that meditation can physically change your brain structure, increasing resilience and emotional regulation. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Positron Emission Tomography revealed that meditation can improve self-awareness and emotional control, aligning perfectly with Stoic values. Lastly, we explore practicing gratitude. While gratitude might seem far removed from Stoicism, it actually plays a vital role in developing a Stoic mindset. Learning to appreciate what you have, rather than longing for what you lack, cultivates contentment. When you express gratitude, you reinforce the idea that happiness doesn't depend on external circumstances. A study by the University of California found that individuals who practice gratitude experience lower levels of depression and higher levels of satisfaction. Embracing these practical applications can empower you to live more fully in the present. But how do we maintain this mindset consistently? We live in a world where emotions can often feel overwhelming. So how does Stoicism equip us to handle emotional turbulence? The answer lies in understanding that emotions, while natural, must not dominate our decision-making. Stoics teach us that while we cannot control our feelings, we can control how we respond to them. Imagine experiencing sudden anger when someone cuts you off in traffic. A Stoic would encourage you to take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is the rational response here? It's a simple yet powerful shift, converting a reflexive reaction into mindful response. Research from the University of North Carolina shows that cultivating emotional intelligence strengthens resilience, confirming the Stoic belief in the power of reason. One practical way to foster emotional resilience is through cognitive reframing. This technique involves looking at setbacks as opportunities rather than failures. A classic example comes from Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His ability to reframe failure as a learning opportunity embodies the Stoic virtue of perseverance. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Psychology found that individuals who practice cognitive reframing are more likely to achieve their goals and sustain motivation. Another powerful Stoic practice is to practice detachment. This doesn't mean being emotionally cold, rather, it involves stepping back from emotional situations to gain perspective. This can be particularly helpful during conflicts or stressful times, allowing you to maintain clarity and respond with intention rather than emotion. The story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, illustrates this concept beautifully. Despite facing unimaginable suffering, Frankl found meaning in his struggles, famously stating, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." His ability to detach from his circumstances while finding purpose within them is a profound example of Stoic resilience. As we engage with these Stoic practices, we cultivate a deeper emotional resilience that empowers us to navigate life's challenges. But what happens when we face obstacles that seem insurmountable? As we delve deeper into Stoic philosophy, we discover an often overlooked aspect: the role of community. Stoicism teaches that we are not isolated beings. Our connections with others are vital for our growth and well-being. While personal virtue is significant, Stoics believe in the importance of social responsibility. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee." This illustrates the interconnectedness of humanity. Our actions can ripple through others' lives. It's a reminder that our personal growth should extend beyond ourselves. Consider the example of Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel Prize laureate, who stood up for girls' education in the face of extreme adversity. Her courage was fueled not only by her convictions but also by the community that supported her cause. Malala embodies the Stoic belief that individual actions can contribute to the greater good. Another essential element is the practice of mutual support. The Stoics understood that we thrive when we help one another. A study from the University of California demonstrates that altruistic behavior enhances emotional well-being, suggesting that when we lift others, we also elevate ourselves. How can you encourage mutual support in your daily interactions? Lastly, let's discuss emotional exchange. Sharing our struggles fosters deeper connections. Stoicism isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about understanding and sharing them constructively. In a panic, when we feel overwhelmed, discussing our feelings can lead to solutions and strengthen bonds. Throughout history, numerous communities have turned to Stoic ideals in times of hardship. The response of communities in response to crises, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, showcases the importance of collective resilience. People banded together to support one another, embodying the Stoic virtues of courage and justice. As we consider the value of community in Stoic philosophy, we realize that we are all part of a larger narrative. But as we move forward in our exploration of Stoicism, how can we find our unique roles in this interconnected web? In today's fast-paced world, decision-making can feel overwhelming. With constant choices bombarding us, how do we navigate life's complexities? This is where Stoicism shines. One of the most critical teachings of Stoic philosophy is the concept of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This technique involves envisioning potential obstacles and challenges before they arise. Imagine walking into a meeting, fully prepared for every possible outcome, both negative and positive. This mental rehearsal allows us to approach decisions with composure and clarity. In practice, Marcus Aurelius himself practiced this technique. Daily, he would reflect on the challenges he might face as emperor and prepare his mind to respond with grace. Today's leaders can learn from his example. Consider Elon Musk, who often discusses the importance of confronting your fears and worst-case scenarios head-on. By anticipating difficulties, Musk has navigated the roller coaster of tech innovations, from SpaceX to Tesla, with relentless focus and determination. Statistically speaking, a study from the University of California found that individuals with a proactive approach to decision-making experience 24% less stress than their reactive counterparts. This tells us that Stoic principles not only promote mental strength but also contribute to tangible benefits in our daily lives. Additionally, Stoicism encourages the practice of identifying what is within our control versus what is not. This clear distinction enables us to let go of worry related to external factors. Think about it, when the stock market fluctuates or when a crisis strikes, many people spiral into anxiety. But a Stoic approach would remind us to focus on our reactions, our planning, and our responses to these events. Take the 2008 financial crisis. Many investors panicked, leading to hasty decisions and unwanted losses. Yet, those who adhered to Stoic principles took a moment to evaluate their position, recognizing that market fluctuations were beyond their control. They refocused their energy on long-term strategies that yielded recovery and success, illustrating the power of Stoic decision-making in turmoil. The world is increasingly complex, but by adopting a Stoic mindset, we can simplify our decision-making processes. We learn to weigh options with clarity, predict potential outcomes, and remain steadfast amidst chaos. In doing so, we cultivate a profound sense of resilience. As we delve deeper into Stoicism, we uncover yet another layer of its transformative power, its approach to relationships and connections. What comes to mind when you think about the role of relationships in Stoicism? It may surprise you to discover the depth of Stoic thought concerning our connections with others. At its core, Stoicism recognizes that our relationships are one of the greatest sources of both joy and pain. While it teaches us to keep emotions in check, Stoicism does not advocate for emotional detachment. Instead, it emphasizes the cultivation of deep, meaningful connections without becoming overly dependent on others for our happiness. Seneca, one of the most prominent Stoics, often spoke about friendship and its importance. He believed that true friendship fosters growth and resilience. Imagine having a friend who holds you accountable, who challenges your thoughts and beliefs without judgment. Such relationships help us evolve. Today, research supports this. Studies show that strong social ties can lead to a 50% higher chance of longevity. The data is clear, relationships matter, and Stoicism provides a framework for us to engage with them healthily. Consider the idea of amor fati, loving one's fate. This concept invites us to accept the people in our lives as they are, quirks and all. By embracing this principle, we can develop relationships rooted in acceptance rather than desire. For instance, if a friend disappoints us, instead of reacting with anger, a Stoic mindset allows us to approach the situation with understanding. We recognize that they, too, are human, navigating their struggles. This pivotal shift in perspective can save relationships from unnecessary conflicts. However, what about toxic relationships? Stoicism empowers us to discern which relationships uplift us and which drain our energy. When faced with negativity, we can apply the Stoic concept of distancing ourselves from those who do not align with our values. An example of this is the story of Tim Ferriss, author and entrepreneur who openly discusses how making the difficult decision to sever ties with toxic people transformed his life. He embraced the Stoic principle of prioritizing connections that foster mutual growth and positivity. Moreover, practicing empathy and compassion through the lens of Stoicism enriches our interactions. A study in the journal Emotion revealed that individuals who engage in empathetic practices experience increased happiness and life satisfaction. Stoicism encourages us to view others' actions through the lens of their own struggles. When we remember that everyone we encounter is facing their own battles, empathy becomes a bridge to deeper connections. In the modern world, where digital interactions often replace face-to-face connections, Stoic principles guide us toward fostering genuine relationships. By valuing authentic communication and emotional intelligence, we become better friends, partners, and family members. So, how can we take these insights and apply them in our daily lives? As we examine the next chapter, we will explore practical strategies for integrating Stoic practices into our daily routines, helping us to cultivate resilience and improve our overall well-being. But what does it really mean to incorporate Stoicism into our everyday life? How can ancient wisdom transform our mundane routines? Incorporating Stoicism into our daily lives doesn't require monumental changes. Instead, it involves small, intentional practices that shift our mindset and enhance our resilience. Here are several strategies you can adopt to infuse Stoic principles into your routine. First, begin each day with a morning reflection. Take 10 minutes to contemplate what challenges you might face and how you can respond with virtue and reason. This practice, akin to what Marcus Aurelius did in his Meditations, sets a positive tone for the day ahead. Consider the story of a teacher who, before each school day, visualized difficult encounters with students. By mentally preparing, she was able to maintain composure and empathy, transforming her classroom environment. Next, keep a journal. Writing about your daily experiences allows you to reflect on your emotions and responses. This is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Seneca advocated for journaling as a means of self-examination. Through reflection, we can identify patterns in our behavior and refine our responses. A study conducted by researchers at the University of New Hampshire found that journaling significantly improves emotional intelligence and self-awareness. Another powerful practice is the evening review. At the end of the day, take a few moments to reflect on your actions and decisions. Ask yourself, did I act with integrity? Did I react with unnecessary anger? This self-assessment cultivates accountability and growth. Consider a business executive who made it a habit to review his day, identifying moments of weakness and celebrating victories. Over time, this reflective practice helped him become a more effective leader. Additionally, embrace the idea of negative visualization. By contemplating loss or adversity, you can foster gratitude for what you have. Studies show that gratitude can increase overall happiness and satisfaction with life. Think of someone who loses their job and suddenly realizes the joy of spending time with family. Their adversity can evoke a newfound appreciation for life's simple pleasures. Finally, remember the power of meditation and mindfulness. Stoicism and mindfulness overlap significantly, focusing on living in the present moment. Research indicates that mindfulness practices can alleviate anxiety and improve mental health. Imagine taking a few moments each day to center yourself, breathing deeply and anchoring your thoughts. In doing so, you're practicing Stoicism. In summary, these daily practices are not merely tasks, they are pathways to embodying a Stoic mindset. By integrating these small yet profound strategies into our lives, we cultivate resilience, deepen our relationships, and foster emotional intelligence. As we explore the final chapter, let's reflect on how adopting Stoicism can shape the future of not just our lives but society as a whole. What lies ahead for us if we continue to embrace these timeless principles? As we enter the last chapter, we must ask ourselves, what is the future of Stoicism in our ever-changing world? As we arrive at this juncture, it's essential to understand the growing relevance of Stoicism in our contemporary society. Amidst the chaos, uncertainty, and rapid change, people are searching for stability. Stoicism offers a framework that addresses the challenges of modern life. Many have begun to recognize that wisdom from ancient philosophers can guide us today. The rise of Stoicism can be observed in various facets of modern culture. Self-help movements, mental health awareness, and even corporate leadership training often weave Stoic principles into their teachings. For instance, the Navy SEALs famously utilize Stoic techniques to cultivate mental toughness among recruits. The rigorous demands of military training make these principles not only relevant but essential for success. Moreover, the digital era has provided a platform for Stoicism to flourish. Podcasts, blogs, and social media networks now connect individuals seeking Stoic wisdom. In a survey conducted by The Atlantic, an astonishing 67% of millennials reported turning to philosophical frameworks, with Stoicism being at the forefront of their choices. This awakening shows that younger generations are seeking purpose and resilience in an unpredictable world. The corporate world is also integrating Stoic principles. Companies like Google and Microsoft have adopted Stoic-inspired strategies to enhance employee well-being and productivity. These practices emphasize emotional regulation and rational thought, resulting in more effective teams and improved workplace culture. The impact is clear. Companies practicing Stoicism report higher job satisfaction and lower turnover rates, illustrating a direct link between philosophy and business success. In education, Stoicism is being embraced as a tool for teaching resilience and emotional intelligence. Schools across the globe are incorporating Stoic teachings into their curriculums, preparing students to manage stress and uncertainty. Studies in psychology suggest that teaching Stoic principles can dramatically improve student outcomes, fostering a generation of resilient thinkers. Looking ahead, the future of Stoicism seems bright. As we face unprecedented global challenges, from climate change to political unrest, these teachings encourage us to be mindful citizens, acting with integrity and purpose amid adversity. The potential for Stoicism to contribute positively to societal well-being is immense, ushering in a renaissance of philosophical thought. Let us not forget that Stoicism isn't just a personal tool, it can serve as a vehicle for community building and ethical leadership. Every individual embracing these principles can collectively transform society, fostering a culture of resilience, compassion, and rationality. Thus, as we navigate the complexities of modern life, we must hold on to the wisdom of the past while paving the way for a harmonious future. As we conclude our documentary on Stoicism, reflect on this: what steps can you take to integrate these timeless principles into your life for a more resilient and fulfilling existence? The final question remains: in embracing Stoicism, are we not also choosing a better path for humanity? As we wrap up our exploration of Stoicism, we must consider how we can apply these ancient teachings to enhance our modern lives. Stoicism is not merely a set of philosophical ideals but a practical guide to navigating the complexities of life with grace and purpose. As demonstrated throughout this documentary, the principles of Stoicism, self-control, rationality, and acceptance, are timeless. They resonate with the challenges we face today, providing tools for resilience and growth. By embracing Stoicism, we cultivate a mindset that allows us to respond to adversity with courage rather than fear. This proactive approach empowers us to take charge of our emotions and reactions, leading to healthier relationships and personal fulfillment. Remember the stories of individuals like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and modern leaders who have embraced these principles, transforming their lives and those around them. Their journeys remind us that Stoicism is accessible to everyone, regardless of background or circumstance. Moreover, the integration of Stoic practices into our daily routines equips us with a framework to counteract the stress and chaos of contemporary living. The morning reflections, journaling, and focusing on our relationships serve as daily reminders of our capacity for growth and resilience. As we engage with these concepts, we impart a legacy of strength and wisdom to future generations. So, I invite you to consider this: how can you incorporate Stoic teachings into your life? What commitments will you make to foster resilience and purpose? Whether it's through journaling, connecting with others, or preparing for life's challenges, each step you take creates a ripple effect in your life and those around you. In conclusion, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a guide for living authentically and meaningfully. As we face an uncertain future, let us walk forward with the wisdom of the Stoics, committed to living a life of virtue, character, and resilience. Remember, in every moment of struggle, we have the power to choose our responses, crafting a life that reflects our true selves. Thank you for joining this exploration of Stoicism's relevance today. Let's embrace these lessons together, creating a brighter future, one Stoic step at a time. As we part ways, ask yourself, what Stoic lesson will you carry with you into tomorrow's challenges? In a world increasingly dominated by uncertainty, many find themselves grappling with stress, anxiety, and the pressure of expectations. What if there was a timeless philosophy that teaches us not only to endure hardship but to find strength and wisdom within it? This is where Stoicism shines as a guide through life's inevitable storms. Stoicism originated in ancient Greece, but its principles resonate deeply with modern challenges. One of the most striking aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on the dichotomy of control, a concept that encourages individuals to distinguish between what lies within their influence and what doesn't. For instance, consider the powerful story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and renowned psychiatrist. Frankl famously said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." His experiences in concentration camps underscored the Stoic belief that while we cannot control our circumstances, we can control our responses to them. This principle empowers us to face adversity with courage rather than fear. Imagine a professional athlete facing a critical moment in a championship game. They can't control the weather, the opponent's skills, or the audience's reactions. However, they can focus on their training and mindset, using that energy to push through the challenge ahead. Numerous modern studies back this up. Research in psychology consistently shows that resilient people, who practice Stoic principles, tend to handle stress better and recover from setbacks more quickly. According to a study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, individuals with a Stoic outlook report higher levels of well-being and life satisfaction. Practical tools derived from Stoicism can help us navigate adversity. Journaling, for example, is a method many Stoics use to reflect on their thoughts and feelings. Writing about challenges allows us to not only articulate our experiences but also gain insight into our personal growth. We foster gratitude, highlighting moments of positivity even amidst struggles. Another technique is visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios to prepare mentally for challenges. This Stoic practice, called premeditatio malorum, enables us to confront fears proactively rather than reactively. Consider the case of J.K. Rowling, who faced numerous rejections before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Instead of giving in to despair, Rowling viewed each rejection as a stepping stone. Her resilience exemplifies the Stoic mindset, accepting what we cannot control while striving to maintain our inner strength. In summary, Stoicism equips us with the tools to weather life's storms. By embracing the principles of control and perspective, we can transform adversity into an opportunity for growth. But what about the everyday struggles we all face? How can Stoicism help in our daily lives beyond moments of crisis? As we explore further, we will delve into the art of everyday Stoicism, integrating these powerful concepts into our daily routines. The next chapter will further reveal how Stoicism can enhance our everyday decision-making. In our fast-paced world that often feels chaotic, the art of mindfulness has emerged as a powerful antidote to stress and distraction. Yet, what if you could combine mindfulness with ancient wisdom to cultivate an even deeper sense of presence? Enter Stoic mindfulness, a practice grounded in awareness that transcends mere breathing exercises or meditation. Stoicism teaches us that the present moment is all we truly have. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, often reflected on the importance of living fully in the now. He stated, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This perspective encourages us to be passionately engaged in whatever we are doing, whether it's a mundane task or a pivotal moment in our lives. The magic lies in the fact that Stoic mindfulness is about accepting reality without judgment or complaint. For instance, when standing in line at the grocery store, instead of tapping your foot impatiently, you can embrace the wait, using it as an opportunity to reflect or observe your surroundings. Research supports the notion that being mindful enhances emotional regulation and reduces anxiety. A meta-analysis published in Psychological Bulletin found that mindfulness training leads to moderate improvements in mental health outcomes. But what does this look like in practice? One powerful technique is the practice of negative visualization. This Stoic exercise involves imagining losing what we cherish, our jobs, loved ones, or even our health. Such an exercise might sound bleak, but it serves a purpose. By visualizing potential losses, we cultivate gratitude for what we have, enabling us to appreciate the present moment more deeply. This Stoic method also reduces our fear of potential future losses, allowing us to engage fully with life without the crippling fear of loss. Another practical element of Stoic mindfulness is the practice of daily reflections. This can involve taking a moment each evening to assess the day, what went well, what didn't go as planned, and how we can improve. Such reflections enhance our self-awareness and bolster our emotional intelligence, key components of effective interpersonal relationships. Consider a person who leads a team at work. By taking time to reflect, they can identify moments where they responded reactively versus thoughtfully. This self-awareness enriches their leadership, allowing them to foster a more supportive and effective work environment. In essence, Stoic mindfulness invites us to slow down, breathe, and fully engage with each moment. By mixing ancient philosophy with contemporary practices, we can nurture a more peaceful, resilient mindset. But how does Stoicism influence our relationships with others? As we dive deeper, we will uncover how Stoicism enhances our connections and interactions with those around us. As mental health struggles grow increasingly prevalent in today's society, many individuals are seeking effective strategies to cope and thrive. What if the ancient wisdom of Stoicism could offer a pathway to emotional well-being? This chapter explores the intersection of Stoic philosophy and mental health, revealing how its principles can assist in healing and resilience. Research demonstrates that Stoic practices can significantly improve our mental health. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that individuals who practiced Stoicism reported lower levels of anxiety and depressive symptoms. But what exactly does this look like in practice? One of the most valuable Stoic teachings is the concept of acceptance. Recognizing that we must accept what we cannot change frees us from the burden of unnecessary suffering. Consider a young woman who recently lost her job. Instead of spiraling into despair, she learns to accept her situation and views it as an opportunity for growth and exploration. By focusing on this acceptance, she channels her energy into updating her skills, networking, and ultimately finds a more fulfilling position. This mirrors the Stoic idea that our perceptions shape our reality. When we reframe our thoughts, we can mitigate feelings of hopelessness. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a widely used approach in mental health, shares similarities with Stoic practices. CBT focuses on changing negative thought patterns, allowing individuals to challenge irrational beliefs and develop healthier ways of thinking. By cultivating a Stoic mindset, we can enhance our emotional resilience, much like the principles of CBT. Additionally, the Stoic practice of gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity. Acknowledging the good in our lives, even when faced with struggles, helps shift our focus away from what we lack. Consider the story of a man who, after a devastating breakup, starts a gratitude journal. Instead of dwelling on his loss, he consciously lists things he appreciates, from his supportive friends to the beautiful sunsets in his neighborhood. Over time, this practice fosters a sense of peace and perspective that aids him in moving forward. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that while life may present us with suffering, we have the power to choose our responses. By embracing the wisdom of Stoicism, we can cultivate resilience, enhance our mental health, and navigate life's challenges with grace. So, how can we further integrate these lessons into our daily lives, especially concerning our relationships? The upcoming chapter will reveal how Stoic philosophy can enrich our connections with others, strengthening the bonds that define our lives. Stoicism teaches a powerful lesson about facing adversity in life. Imagine a soldier in battle, not merely fighting for survival but embracing his fate, unshaken by fear. This is the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy born in ancient Greece that highlights the importance of resilience, courage, and rational response in the face of hardship. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca emphasized the inevitability of suffering and misfortune. They believed that these challenges are not just random occurrences but opportunities for personal growth. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This perspective shifts the narrative from one of victimhood to ownership of one's response. Let's explore a modern story that embodies this principle. Viktor Frankl, a Jewish psychiatrist, survived the horrors of Nazi concentration camps. His experiences led him to develop logotherapy, a form of existential analysis that posits that finding meaning in suffering is key to survival. Frankl once said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he recounts how he and his fellow inmates utilized their minds to rise above the suffering. They focused on things they could control: their thoughts, their attitude towards their harsh circumstances, and their inner life. This echoes the Stoic idea that while you may not control external events, you always have control over your reactions. Modern psychology reinforces this notion. A study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies found that individuals who practice acceptance, an essential Stoic principle, experience lower levels of anxiety and depression. Their ability to confront painful emotions without the need to escape them translates into improved mental health outcomes. By embracing adversity, we cultivate resilience. This is not about becoming emotionally numb, instead, it's about facing life's challenges head-on. Let's take the example of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her literary success, she faced numerous rejections and lived in relative poverty. Instead of giving in to despair, she harnessed her struggles to create a magical world that has touched millions. Rowling once remarked, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." This chapter illustrates that Stoicism isn't just theory, it's a practice that can transform how we navigate life's storms. By training ourselves to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively during difficult times, we learn to embrace struggles as essential teachers in our development. As we reflect on the importance of resilience, let's consider another critical application of Stoicism, the practice of gratitude. How might gratitude change our perception of adversity? In our fast-paced modern world, the practice of mindfulness has garnered significant attention. But did you know that the roots of mindfulness can be traced back to Stoic philosophy? Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living in accordance with nature and remaining present in the moment. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius famously wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote encapsulates the essence of mindfulness, focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. Mindfulness, in its simplest form, is about becoming aware of your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations without judgment. It encourages a deeper connection with reality as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. In today's world, distractions abound: social media notifications, work demands, and the constant chatter of our own inner critic. Stoicism cuts through this noise and prompts us to engage with the present moment. Take, for example, the concept of premeditatio malorum or the premeditation of evils, a Stoic practice where one anticipates potential challenges. By envisioning worst-case scenarios, Stoics prepare their minds to face difficulties with clarity and calmness. This practice inadvertently cultivates mindfulness. Instead of avoiding unpleasant thoughts, they bring them into the light, examining them rationally. A study conducted by Harvard University found that people spend nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they are doing. This lack of presence often leads to feelings of unhappiness. The Stoic response? Immerse yourself fully in the present, in whatever task lies before you. Consider the story of a successful tech entrepreneur who credits his success to his daily Stoic mindfulness practice. Each morning, he engages in a brief ritual where he reflects on his intentions for the day, visualizes challenges he might face, and contemplates how to respond with virtue and equanimity. This practice helps him remain grounded, focused, and emotionally balanced, even amid the chaos that often surrounds his work life. Additionally, mindfulness in Stoicism encourages us to appreciate the small joys in life. Instead of always looking for grand achievements, we learn to find contentment in simple moments: a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or the beauty of nature. By cultivating presence through Stoic mindfulness, we can enhance our mental well-being and deepen our connections with ourselves and others. The question now is, how can we integrate these Stoic mindfulness practices into our daily lives? Mental health has become a critical topic in today's society. With rising rates of anxiety and depression, many are seeking solutions that offer more than temporary relief. Enter Stoicism, a philosophy that can provide profound insights and pathways to emotional healing. Stoicism teaches that our thoughts shape our reality. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, shares this principle, which is why many mental health professionals incorporate Stoic techniques into their practice. The Stoic exercise of reframing thoughts, viewing challenges as opportunities, mirrors CBT's emphasis on restructuring negative self-talk. Consider the case of a young woman named Sarah, who struggled with anxiety and feelings of inadequacy. After learning about Stoicism, she began to apply its principles daily. Instead of viewing her social anxiety as a flaw, she reframed it as a signal that prompted her to prepare and reflect. Through journaling, she wrote about her fears and rational responses, a process reminiscent of Marcus Aurelius' own reflective practices. Research supports the efficacy of this approach. A 2019 study from the University of Pennsylvania found that participants who practiced Stoic reflections experienced significant reductions in anxiety and improved self-esteem. These individuals reported feeling more in control of their emotions, echoing the Stoic belief that while we cannot control external circumstances, we can control our perceptions and reactions. Moreover, Stoicism provides tools for developing emotional resilience. By recognizing that pain and suffering are part of the human experience, individuals can cultivate a sense of acceptance. This acceptance is not passive, it empowers individuals to take action in their lives while embracing their emotions. Seneca, another pivotal Stoic thinker, remarked, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." As we discuss mental health, it's also essential to explore community support. Stoicism emphasizes interconnectedness and the role of community in individual well-being. Engaging with others who share similar struggles can foster connection and encourage healing. Consider a local Stoic group that meets to discuss relevant texts and share personal experiences. This communal practice can enhance emotional support and promote a sense of belonging. In combining Stoic principles with modern mental health practices, we can create a holistic approach to healing. It's a journey that asks us to confront our fears, embrace the present moment, and cultivate a life rooted in virtue. What if we could all take a Stoic pause before reacting to life's challenges? Happiness, it's a concept that transcends cultures and time. But what does it truly mean to be happy? Many of us believe that happiness is the accumulation of wealth, possessions, or social status. Yet, the Stoics offer a radically different perspective. They propose that happiness is not found in external circumstances but rather within ourselves. According to philosopher Seneca, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. To understand how Stoicism can lead to genuine happiness, let's explore three of its core tenets: virtue, wisdom, and acceptance. The Stoics believed that the greatest good is virtue, which consists of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. They taught that a virtuous life, grounded in moral character, leads to true fulfillment. This doesn't mean that we should ignore emotions or desires, but rather we should not allow them to dictate our actions. Consider the life of Epictetus, a former slave who became a prominent Stoic philosopher. Despite his humble beginnings, Epictetus focused on cultivating his character and wisdom. He taught that true happiness is achieved through self-mastery and understanding what is in our control. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By internalizing these principles, he transformed his life and influenced countless others. Let's examine a modern-day example. In today's fast-paced world, many people chase success, assuming that wealth will bring them happiness. Yet, as research by psychologist Shawn Achor suggests, happiness leads to success, not the other way around. Achor's studies indicate that positive emotions enhance productivity, creativity, and resilience. In contrast, Stoicism doesn't dismiss the pursuit of success but emphasizes that true joy comes from aligning one's actions with virtue. When faced with disappointment, perhaps you didn't get the promotion you hoped for, the Stoic approach is to focus on your response, not the outcome. This can lead to greater emotional resilience and a more profound sense of peace. Another aspect of Stoicism that shapes happiness is acceptance of fate, what the Stoics called amor fati. This Latin phrase means to love one's fate. It encourages us to embrace life's challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of resisting setbacks, we learn to accept them as part of the human experience. Think about Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he argues that even in the direst situations, we can find meaning and maintain our inner freedom. So, how do we apply these teachings in our everyday lives? Start by practicing gratitude. List 3 things you're grateful for each day. This small habit can shift your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering a greater sense of happiness. Additionally, engage in daily reflection. Ask yourself whether your actions were aligned with your values. Over time, these practices will deepen your understanding of what it means to live a happy, fulfilling life. In summary, Stoicism teaches us that happiness is a state of mind cultivated by virtue, acceptance, and wise choices. The next time you feel overwhelmed by life's challenges, remember Epictetus and his profound words. True happiness is found not in external validation but in nurturing our inner virtues and character. And next, we will dive into another essential aspect of Stoicism, its relationship with time and how to make the most of every moment. In today's fast-paced work environment, stress and pressure are almost unavoidable. Many individuals experience burnout, dissatisfaction, and anxiety due to the demands placed on them. But what if there was a way to navigate these challenges with grace and composure? Enter Stoicism, a philosophy that equips us with the tools to thrive under pressure in the workplace. Influential Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca faced immense challenges yet maintained their composure. For Marcus Aurelius, being a Roman emperor came with heavy responsibilities, but his reflections and meditations reveal a man who sought to control his responses rather than external events. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let's break down how we can apply Stoic principles to our work life. First, we must understand the concept of what is within our control versus what is not. According to Epictetus, our thoughts, beliefs, and reactions are in our control, while external factors such as company policies, colleagues' behaviors, or market conditions are not. By focusing solely on what we can control, we reduce stress and enhance our effectiveness. Consider the case of a project manager facing an imminent deadline. Instead of panicking over potential outcomes, the Stoic approach would be to concentrate on actionable steps, organizing the team, prioritizing tasks, and maintaining open communication. This shift from worry to action can lead to better outcomes and reduced anxiety. Another fundamental Stoic practice is the premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. This involves envisioning potential obstacles or challenges before they occur. By mentally preparing for setbacks, we lessen their psychological impact when they arise. For instance, a salesperson might anticipate a tough negotiation meeting. By preparing for possible objections and thinking through his responses, he can approach the meeting with confidence rather than fear. Research supports these Stoic techniques. A study published in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology found that individuals who practiced cognitive reframing, essentially a form of premeditatio malorum, reported lower stress levels and greater job satisfaction. Through these techniques, Stoicism offers practical strategies for managing workplace challenges. Moreover, Stoicism promotes the idea of viewing our work as a form of service. It empowers us to find meaning in our roles by shifting the focus from self-interest to the greater good. As Seneca said, a good character, as well as a good reputation, is the only thing that cannot be taken away from us. When employees feel connected to a higher purpose, whether it's helping customers, contributing to a team, or making a difference, they often find greater satisfaction in their work. To embody these practices effectively, consider establishing a daily routine that incorporates Stoic reflection. Begin each day by identifying your main goals, how you plan to tackle challenges, and what virtues you want to embody in your work. This could be patience during a frustrating meeting or courage when needing to address performance issues with a colleague. By setting these intentions, you create a framework that guides your actions throughout the day. As we explore the integration of Stoicism in the workplace, remember that the ultimate goal is to cultivate a mindset that enhances resilience, creativity, and fulfillment. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into the concept of privacy and solitude in Stoicism and how they empower individuals to reflect, recharge, and grow, principles that are essential in a world that often prioritizes noise over quietude. Throughout history, great Stoic thinkers have imparted wisdom that resonates even today. Their insights provide not just guidance but also practical lessons we can apply to our lives. Let's take a closer look at these Stoic teachers and the valuable lessons they continue to offer. Firstly, we have the legendary Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. Zeno, who came from humble beginnings, taught that true wealth is not found in material goods but in wisdom and virtue. He famously stated, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This perspective challenges the modern obsession with consumerism. By prioritizing our inner resources over outward appearances, we begin to understand what it truly means to live a fulfilling life. Next, let's examine Seneca, whose life exemplified Stoicism in action. Despite being a statesman and a wealthy man, Seneca faced numerous adversities including political exile and familial strife. He wrote extensively about the importance of facing life's challenges with courage and resilience. In one of his letters, he said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This resonates powerfully in our modern lives where challenges are often viewed as setbacks. By reframing these obstacles as opportunities for growth, we embrace the Stoic mindset. Another Stoic thinker of immense influence is Marcus Aurelius, who ruled as Roman emperor while grappling with wars, plagues, and personal loss. His writings and meditations serve as a testament to the power of resilience. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. His reflections encourage us to maintain our focus on self-governing thoughts, regardless of external chaos. What about modern figures who embody Stoicism? Let's consider Admiral James Stockdale, a U.S. Navy pilot and prisoner of war who spent over 7 years in captivity during the Vietnam War. Stockdale applied Stoic principles to endure unimaginable hardship. He famously said, "The optimists are wrong. It's not about getting out quickly, it's about enduring and getting through it." His ability to focus on what he could control, the way he responded to his situation, enabled him to survive against all odds. These historical lessons demonstrate that Stoicism can serve as a guiding framework in times of uncertainty. But how can we apply these teachings in our lives today? Start by practicing mindfulness, a concept that aligns with Stoic thought. Take time each day to meditate on your thoughts and feelings, examining your reactions to situations. This self-awareness helps cultivate emotional intelligence and aligns you with Stoic principles. Moreover, consider journaling about your challenges and reflections on Stoic teachings. Just as Marcus Aurelius wrote down his thoughts, you can document your experiences and insights. This practice not only serves as a therapeutic outlet but also reinforces your understanding of Stoic concepts. In conclusion, the lessons from Stoic teachers are timeless. They remind us that life is full of challenges, but it is our response to these challenges that defines us. Embracing Stoicism invites us to find strength within ourselves, to seek wisdom, and to prioritize virtue over fleeting pleasures. As we move toward the end of our exploration of Stoic philosophy, our next chapter will focus on the significance of mentorship and guidance in cultivating a Stoic life. As we step into the world of personal growth and self-improvement, one of the core tenets of Stoicism shines brightly: personal accountability. In a society that often seeks to shift blame or defer responsibility, the Stoics taught that the only thing we can truly control is ourselves and our reactions to external events. This principle urges us to take full ownership of our decisions and actions. But how does this translate into modern life? Consider the renowned philosopher and Stoic, Marcus Aurelius. As a Roman emperor during a time of immense chaos, he faced numerous challenges that would have crippled lesser men. Yet, instead of pointing fingers at fate or circumstances, Aurelius wrote in his meditations that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This profound understanding of accountability leads us to ask, how do we apply this in our daily lives? Imagine a workplace scenario where a project fails. The immediate reaction might be to blame team members, resources, or even the leadership. Yet, a Stoic approach would prompt an individual to reflect on their role in the outcome. Did they communicate effectively? Did they follow through on their commitments? By taking accountability, we not only empower ourselves but also foster a culture of responsibility and growth within our teams. Studies show that workplace environments that prioritize accountability see up to a 50% increase in productivity and a significant boost in employee morale. Furthermore, accountability extends beyond professional boundaries and seeps into personal relationships. In our interactions with loved ones, recognizing our part in conflicts can be transformative. For instance, if there is a recurring argument with a partner, instead